All right. Hello, Jalmari. How are you today? And I was wondering, how long have you wanted to make Sisu in particular, or maybe just like a movie like it?
A very long time since I saw First Blood
Ah, ha,
when
ha.
when I was a kid. I've been wanting to do action since, and it's been a big struggle because we don't have like an tradition of making action films in Finland.
Mm.
Uh, this is like the first action film from Finland, in my opinion, definitely. Uh, but I'm glad to be here now.
I bet you are. So yeah, it's definitely got a Rambo vibe with some Inglorious Bastards armor, I'm going to say. What other movies do you think are fair comparison to this one?
I think a lot of comes from old war movies and especially like Sergio Leone's Western movies.
Mm.
Uh, you probably can see that by looking at the film, and it was something that happened like naturally, because I realized that when you have a guy riding a horse on that open landscape, it is Western basically. You just can't like avoid it basically.
Good stuff. So was it fun to return to the Midnight Madness at TIFF? Because you've been there before.
I have, but this time was special. I can say that much because how well Sisu was received in Midnight Madness and the screening the next day on IMAX theater, because I knew that the Midnight Madness crowd, they have this tradition of being loud and stuff like that, but it continued the next day on IMAX, and it has been continuing in every screening I've been all over the world, and I was blown away how much people love it, and like the screenings are more like a rock concert or something, because there's a lot of stuff going on there.
Yeah, I had a friend who was there. I couldn't make it, but I heard it was amazing. It was buzzing in September in Toronto for sure.
Yeah,
yeah,
that was a really cool moment for me.
I bet. So tell me about your lead actor, and tell me how you guys created this like sort of phantom character for him, because he definitely has this like manifestation of like an angel of death, like sort of pursuing righteous murder. How do you, but like it's sort of, it almost gets like fantastical. How do you create that?
Well, we talked about Atami with Jorma a lot, and what he's been through, and that the fact that he has lost everything in war, and being like a really bad person after that, like killing a hell of a lot of Russians, basically because he didn't have anything anymore, and he didn't care if he would die itself or any. He wanted to have revenge, and now he's fed up with everything, like the war and all of that, and he wants to do something else, and trying to find a new hope for his life, but the war just doesn't leave him alone, and it comes back in the form with Nazis, and he has to go back to that road where he's actually pretty good at.
I guess a lot of that comes from the extensive amount of murder, like that, like sort of phantom persona. There's a lot of action in this movie. People definitely they can say what they want, but they won't be bored by this one. How long does it take to sort of block and shoot those action scenes?
I think we shot something a little bit more than 30 days. It was a really fast thing to do, because we planned everything really carefully and executed them really fastly. The main problem was to have the ideas, because I wanted it to stand out from the rest of the action films, and to have some kind of new way of dealing with surviving or killing. So I needed to get inventive of what Artem is going to do, and that's what I'm really proud of, because I bet that there's not too many people who can guess beforehand what's going to happen next in the movie.
That's true. That's true. There are a lot of creative kills to this one.
Yeah.
So you worked with Samuel L. Jackson. What was that like? Can you tell me something about him that might surprise some people?
Well, he's a big movie star, and that comes with a certain kind of vibe in a way to the set, that it's not always easy to work with a guy like Sam Jackson, and definitely it wasn't always for me, because I was quite unexperienced by that time, and maybe too young. But it was great how he was with Onni Tommila, and it was a really good learning experience for me.
Yeah, one thing I noticed is you hadn't made your own feature since 2014, but you were busy doing TV, a lot of television over the since then. But tell me about that. Tell me about getting back into the director's chair, and what was the road to that?
Well, it wasn't easy, because I had a problem with writing after Big Game. I wanted to make so much like better film that I have done before, and it became really hard for me because I didn't trust myself anymore, and I was writing one idea and throw it away, and do a second one, and throw that away, and changing the project like really often, and it started to get really annoying. So I made some TV stuff for money, and I was writing this sci-fi film at the same time, and we were supposed to shoot it before Sisu, but then the pandemic came and we couldn't do anything, and that's how Sisu was born, basically, because I got really angry, and I was in a very dark place. So I knew that I have to do something like really fucking cool and do it now if I wanna stay alive. So.
Well, you definitely did. I really enjoyed it. I saw Rare Exports, back in the day, and I really enjoyed that. So that was sort of like where I was coming from. Just like, oh, cool, Rare Exports guy's got a TIFF movie, so I got to see that at some point. And I was definitely very entertained. For people, you started doing short films, correct? That was your road into things.
Yeah, I did a lot of short films, like with no money, but with quite a big production value of like a lot of explosions and a lot of action, because we were able to get all those things for free and just work with a good spirit with everyone, and that was my road in.
So I guess I want to thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. My last question for you, though, is when you make a short film, like a good short film, what's the next step?
You mean for a filmmaker?
Yeah.
Like in general? I don't know. It always helps if you can write your stuff yourself. I think it would be impossible for me to, if I couldn't write myself, and when I started, it would be like really difficult, because I don't know who's gonna give me a script that was like something that I really wanted to do. So I don't know. For me, it was a really good thing to have ideas of my own, and trying to find a producer who likes the idea, and started from there. And of course, with the Rare Export short films, because I stepped to the feature film with Rare Exports, and I already had shown that I can do this stuff, and this is a cool thing to have. So it helped a lot.
Okay, well, thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate it, and I encourage everyone to check out Sisu. It's a lot of fun.
Thanks.